All right. Happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. First, let's see, where are we? January 10th. So we're going to be talking about what happened in 2024. Glenn Stein, Realty Executives here, broker owner, location in the Bills is 466 across from Laurel Manor. And been here since, been in the market since 2004, 20 years in the business, just past our birthday. 20 years in the Villages. So very excited about that. But a lot of different things going on. A lot of people are glad that the election is over. So I think that actually helped us in the latter part of the year. Third quarter, if you take a look at my third quarter report in the Villages, you'll see that the Villages really was probably one of the lowest quarters that we saw in a very long time. We'll take a look at that today. But fourth quarter was a little bit better, just from the fact of the election being done. I think that was a very big impact. So let's take a look at last 5 years is what we're going to look at, and we're going to look at let's look at. Let's see, sold. We're going to look at number of solds over the last 5 years and do a comparison from year to year and take a look at what we saw. And this is going to be a good indicator as to what happened in 2024. So as you can tell, if you look at these, look at this chart, 2021 was the outlier year. If you look at 2020, obviously we sold just about the same, maybe a little bit more than 2020, but definitely a little bit better than 23, and a little bit better than 2022. And we've seen a lot of different changes. Actually, what I'm interested in seeing right now, I'm really curious. I haven't seen these numbers. Let's see how that compares to. Like 2018, 2019. So let's take a look. I'm going to do that search for us on the fly because I think it's super fascinating to really look at it. 10 years, right? This is going to give you a good idea as to how 2024 compared to, the normal years. Like I feel like 2020 through 2024 were, that 5-year period of 2020 to 2024 or through 2024, those 5 years, very good. They're almost like outlier years because we had some extreme examples of what could happen when interest rates go down to zero. And then of course, when interest rates go up the way they did in dramatic fashion in, late 21 to 22, that's always super fascinating. You're going to see a lot of different things happen. So let's see. Let's take a look. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy New Year to everybody. So last 10 years gives you an idea of the Villages volume, right? And this is just on MLS. We have our separate, MLS systems, new constructions on a separate system than MLS. And of course, the VLS is a different thing altogether. So let's take a look. So 2024, better than 2020, better than all the other years except for 2021. So that, as many people thought, oh my gosh, 2024 wasn't a great year. Well, the volume was there. And I think part of that is because, the Villages is much more of a mature marketplace now. Right? We've got more homes, period, compared to what we saw 6-7 years ago. Starting with Fenny and Eastport, Middleton, and all that area, it makes for a big difference. But still, it tells you the number of properties that sold. As I've been talking about this last couple of years, as the inventory has grown to record paces, we've seen the demand really stay pretty steady, and this is really a testament to that. So that's kind of what I wanted to cover today is really a look into what happened in 2024. Let's take a look at maybe one more thing. So we know the sales are there, right? They did occur. Let's look at months of inventory, which is going to be the relationship with the number of sales versus number of properties on the market. Now, this is going to be indicative of the pace of how fast things are selling. So last 10 years, typically, the averages were, 15, 16, 4 or 5 months on the market. 17 started to low down to 3 and then 2. And then obviously 2021 being super hot. We're actually, back to a day of like 3, 4, and 5. And if you look at third quarter, like I was alluding to, when we're looking at like July, August, September, those months on market, you're looking at 4 and then creeping up into the 5s. And then November, December kind of slowed down a little bit, or November, December actually picked up, and you're seeing months of inventory being at 4. So that's an improvement. The lower the number, the better the market. Okay. And we saw obviously in 2021, you're looking at, 0, which is basically less than 1 month. Let's take a look at average sales prices. Did the prices go up, down? Did they stay flat? What happened? Average, let's go to sold price average, and let's see, where is it? There it is, sales price average. Let's generate, let's take a look. And now we're looking at, 424 for the month of December. But if we were to, let's do this by primary year. Let's see if that changes. I don't know that I've ever done this by year. Okay. All right. So it's a little bit indicative. So you're seeing, 410,000 as an average sales price in 2022 and 23. Looking at 2024, looking at 415,000. So the prices have gone up. It's interesting. So what this basically means is average price of everything put together. It's gone up, but that's a little bit misleading, because I'll tell you that in certain categories overall, prices actually went down. So that's going to be a different video altogether. But I'll tell you that ultimately, a lot of the properties that are out there, if you look at like patio villas, non-specialty homes, those particular properties actually went down in price. So if you look at it, let's look at like active sales price and what's on the market. Let's see. All right, 577 homes on the market, that's a lot. We're pretty close to the peak that we've ever seen, like the most that we've seen. So that's kind of the oxymoron right now. It's like a paradox. The paradox of lots of properties on the market, but yet we've got demand. So that's it's a push and pull for sure. But, that's something I would really pay attention to. What's happening with particular properties, like the lower end properties. Yes, we saw prices go down. Patio villas drop down probably about 5 to 10%. I think that's what we can say for each individual category, like a 5 to 10% drop in average, not average sales price, but the typical price for a particular category. Now, as a whole, what we saw is that the particular, when you count everything from A to Z, from 100,000 to 2+ million, the average was pulled up, as we just saw before. But the individual house, when you're saying, okay, did my home go up or down in value, then you do have to say, you know what, it's likely that your home went down in value versus what we saw in 2022 and 23. So for instance, if you could have sold your home for 500,000 in 2022, early 2022, then it's likely worth about 475 to 480. So a little bit less. Okay. Peak was back early 2022. Home values have gone down a little bit. Certainly not a market crash. Some people are like, oh my God, it's gonna be a market crash. Hasn't happened unless we're going to see some kind of black swan event. It didn't go from 500 to 400. It went from 500 maybe to 475, typically on as a whole. Like, I'm sure there's circumstances that are a little bit different, but mostly that's what happened. And we're seeing higher priced homes sell, and that's why it's taken the average up. So lots of different things. I'm in the middle of, by the way, next week I'm going to be putting together the 2024 annual report. So if you want to get a hold of that, we're going to be having that at open houses here in the Villas. If you're not in town, let me know, connect. And it's pretty much a to Z. This is what happened in 2024 type of report. And of course, you can connect with me at this number, as you see on the screen. And remember, we're actually, another indication, I want to leave you on this, another indication as to what's going on in the market, late, kind of a late arrival type of market. Not only did traffic pick up late last year, part of it was weather change, but part of it was election. The other thing that we're seeing is we're getting a lot of people now saying, I do want to stay in a rental home in February and March, parts of April. So just, keep that in mind, that's a thing that if you are wanting a short-term rental, we do have those. We are in the property management business. So if you have questions, let me know. Hope everybody has a great day, great weekend. Take care.